Hey guys, we should be live right now. Pratap was putting the link on Instagram, but we should be live. What an interesting day of Test cricket. Day one of the pink ball Test match. Not like how we would have hoped, but it's good to be live. It's good to be here after the Test match. We'll wait for a bit. We'll wait until the chat gets going. Let us know, like always, if there's anything wrong with any of what we are doing. Echo,
Echoes.
lag, any of that.
Yeah.
Let us know. But it's been an interesting day of Test cricket. Not the most exciting if you're an Indian fan. There has been hello.
Audio is good.
Hey Abhishek. Hey
Awesome.
Jawad. Hey thanks. Eternal Sword.
What's
Tough
up, lads?
period Piranha Plant Bros. What a good name you have. But yes, it was a tough period. To be honest.
Yeah. Give some positivity.
Do we have a chance to come back? Yeah, Raghuram, we have quite a bit of positives. But to be
Yeah.
completely honest, with the way the Indian top order has been batting right now, is this really a surprise?
Not
It's just that
surprised.
the second innings of the first Test match gave us so much
Hope.
optimism.
Yeah.
But hey, a lot of you guys are here. Thank God, Pradeep. Hey boys. Hello, bhaiya. Arey, bhaiya, don't. Fake name cry. Do you think that Virat's century in the last match was just a one-off thing? A very good question, which we will come to. If you guys are joining us for the first time on our live, we have a lot of segments but that we will go through. We have positives for the day, negatives for the day, top performances of the day. And we will get questions from you guys. So we will talk to you guys a lot. And all of this is from India's perspective.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know already, we have top performances of the day every day of the Test match. And by the end of the Test match, we have a ranking system to see who's been the most top performer of the day.
True.
If any of that made sense.
Yeah. Basically, a ranking system. To simplify it, every day we'll rate top performers
Yes.
from the Indian team.
Yeah.
Could be Bumrah, could be NKR, could be anybody.
Yes.
Could be Kohli. And then at the end of each test match and at the end of each test of the entire test series itself, we will have rankings in place. So, yeah.
Raghuram asks, why are we not getting swing like Stark did? Which is very interesting because we have a very special segment today. Like yesterday, if you guys were there,
Yeah.
we have a stat file.
We have swing metrics, we have seam metrics,
we
we'll
have
get
all
into
of
all
that.
of it.
So you
Yeah.
will know if we did actually get the amount of swing or if that was less. There might be an audio issue when we get to that, but we will fix that. So don't worry. All right, let's get into the scorecard, Pratap.
Yeah. Cool. So pretty normal, interesting day of Test cricket, I must
Yes.
say. Pink ball, we saw it jagging around a fair bit. India getting 180 all out, and in response, Australia 86 for 1. McSweeney and Labuschagne are still out there.
Grinding it out.
Grinding it out, batted really well,
Yes.
capitalized in the last part of the day, I'd say. So yeah, that's the start that we've had, and obviously we'll get into India's positives, which is Thunder Down Under.
Thunder Down Under, take it away, Prat Cat.
Cool. So obviously not much in terms of positives for India, but if I had to be extremely positive and upbeat about things, Nitish Kumar Reddy with the bat batted extremely beautifully. I think the way he batted towards the end, taking the attack to some of those bowlers, it was really nice to watch. And eventually that was the difference between India getting 180 all out and them just rolling out for 140. It made a huge difference. Those runs are going to be crucial. Only time will tell how crucial they're going to be. But yeah, I think that's the first positive. Nitish Kumar Reddy, great job once again. And it's just nice to see a young Indian all-rounder come out and perform the way he has in Australia. So that's good signs. Okay, what's next? Gill started off well. So obviously this was Shubman Gill's first innings in Australia, first match of the series for him. He looked fairly positive until he got out. It was a bit of a cheap dismissal, so to say. But I think everything up until then, the drives, the way he's set up for most deliveries. Obviously, he poked at a few outside the off stump. That's something we've known Gill to do. But all in all, looked very positive. Got the middle of the bat a fair bit. And that's good signs for India moving forward into the series because it's going to be an extremely long series, 5 test matches. Gill's form at number 3 will be important. We have one more positive.
Oh yeah, that's true. We do have.
Ashwin was about to change, but anyways. Oh, cool. One more positive is Ashwin getting turn. Ravichandran Ashwin came to ball in the last part of the day, the second last over of the day. That's the only over he bowled. But he did get a little bit of turn getting it to move from somewhere around mid lane off to down leg. So that's encouraging signs. That's something we'll also talk about in a bit, how that's going to be important as the test match itself progresses. But this is it for positives.
I mean, those were quite a bit of positives, thinking about how the day one of the test match went on. But there are a couple of negatives. And to start off with is the Indian batting order, especially the top order and the shot selection. Yashasvi Jaiswal, the first ball, I mean, it's fine. It was a good ball. Jaiswal played across the line. Could have, would have, should have played straight and all of that. But that's fine. That's the first ball and things. And then we settled into the innings. Shubman Gill getting out, like Pratap said, was a bit out of nowhere, playing across the line to a straight ball. You wouldn't normally see that as your number 3 test batter, which was quite surprising and a little bit disappointing. Virat Kohli came out attacking just like he did in the first innings of the Perth test match, which again was so surprising. The first ball of his innings, if I'm not wrong, he chased the ball 5th, 6th stump outside off, went through the gap between gully and slip. Lucky him, he could have gotten out that first ball. And then kept attacking and eventually got out. I want to say the third ball, Pratap, if I'm not wrong. But again, it wasn't the kind of delivery that got him out in the first innings of the Perth test match. There was no extra bounce. He tried to leave but also looked to play at it and eventually poked at it. And then couple of wickets down the line. I mean, there were few wickets here and there, but then the captain walks in. The captain gets out the way we always know him. If there was an epitome of no feet moment, it would be Rohit Sharma's wicket, because he had no feet, he was stuck right there, ball pitched, I want to say came right in, but
nipped back
a little bit, came in with the angle, got him out LBW. I think this is what was the problem with the Indian batters. They didn't give themselves enough time. Someone like a KL Rahul or even Shubman Gill for that matter, the second they gave themselves time, NKR, I mean, the second they all gave themselves a little bit of time, they all settled down. They all threw their wickets away eventually, but I mean, I don't know what else can I say in terms of how bad we batted. And it's very interesting because even Rishabh Pant, the way he got out might seem like there was extra bounce, but then when you look at the replays again and again, it wasn't sudden bounce. It was normal average bounce that you would expect on the pitch. And even the commentators were talking about how these Indian batters are looking to go on the front foot. So the second you go on the front foot and you have bounce, it might seem like you're playing for extra bounce. Almost like how Pujara used to get out, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Now that's just not it for the blunders.
Unfortunately, there were a lot of blunders today, so I'm going to be completing the rest. First thing, obviously, we've spoken about the batting itself. Ashwin's covered most of what went wrong. Coming to the ball, I thought the Indian bowlers were not on the money right from the word go. Bumrah bowled slightly shorter and he was a little wavered. We also gave away a lot of byes. The ball swinging late after it crossed the batsman, and Pant not being able to keep up with that swing itself gave away too many extra runs there. And looking at it from a stat perspective, Indians did bowl much shorter than Australia. The Indians bowled a length of 7.12 meters on average. That is 7.12 meters from the batter's wicket. Whereas the Australians bowled that at 6.7 meter, which I still think is a little shorter than they should have on this pitch. But eventually that's what makes the difference between the batsman playing the ball and being able to leave it on length.
Repeat that stat just for the sake of it. Repeat that.
Just to repeat the stat, because Ashwin wants me to repeat. 6.7 meters is where the Australians pitched the ball, and the Indians pitched it at 7.12 meters on average.
And this is from the stump, from the batter's stump.
Yeah. So that's one of the stats. Second one, the drop catch of McSweeney. We'll find out how costly it proves. Yeah. But yeah, it's already proved to be a fair bit costly because Australia did not lose any more wickets. It was a tough catch, and if you'll see the replay, it's very interesting what happens there.
So difficult. Yeah. Go on.
The ball, after it's edged the bat, it just starts moving late. So Pant is going for the ball. Extremely right of him to go for that. Yes. That was his catch up until the fact that the ball started swinging away from him. And so it should have gone straight into Rohit's hands.
But even if you look at Rohit Sharma's hands, Rohit Sharma's hands were here, but the ball was here or here, whichever way it was swinging.
How much the ball swung. Yeah.
So that's something that the Indians will have to keep in mind, the slip cordon. The pink ball moves late, especially in that last session. So that's something that's very important.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it for for Blunder Down Under. And next,
We have top performances of the day. I mean, we have already talked about this. Nitish Kumar Reddy gets the first point of the second test on day one. He batted extremely well. He was the best batter of the lot. I mean, Shubman Gill comes close, but Nitish Kumar Reddy with the attacking shots. He played a reverse scoop to Boland, and that was just out of nowhere and took that over apart. I think he got 2 sixes in that over itself. And the way Nitish Kumar Reddy is not only attacking but showing his temperament and class, defending the ball that he knows he can, leaving the ball on length, which is such an impressive attribute to have, especially if you're a batter from the subcontinent. And for him to do that, well done. And Bumrah gets another because he's the only one who got a wicket. Ironically, he looked quite uncomfortable against Khwaja today, but until he got Khwaja out, which was nice. And we have a stat file. If you can't hear, give us 2 minutes. Oh, you guys can hear. Sexy. Now, so this stat file, Pratap is going to go through.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting if you think about it.
Now, if you guys will see the stat file, and I did see some comments talking about the swing and if the Indian bowlers are able to swing it as much as the Australians. So here's something very interesting, right? If you look at the average swing and seam, you'll see that the Indian bowlers, in fact, have gotten more average swing as well as seam. And the simple reason for that, and this is something we spoke about in yesterday's live as well, is that there were lights under lights. In that final session, the pink ball tends to swing a lot more than any of the other sessions. However, because the ball swings so much, it just becomes that much easier for the batters to leave it because they can see the swing coming in early, and it's easier for them to pick the right line. And
it's also difficult for the bowlers because suddenly they see all of this, they see a lot of swing, and so they have to adjust to the fact that the ball has started to swing a lot because the amount of swing is a gradual process, right? I mean, they didn't start bowling right under all of the floodlights. Lights started coming out slowly. The sun started dimming. It became a little cooler, because of which the ball started swinging more and more eventually. And this is something to keep in mind. And it's something that I hope you guys are interested in. But it's a very interesting observation.
That's true. I mean, we've also split it by over 0 to 10, 10, 20. And the ones that are highlighted are where we've seen the maximum amount of swing and seam.
Yes.
So it's ironic because the Indians got more swing but were not able to utilize it well.
Because a lot of people thought that Mitchell Starc, for example, was getting more swing. He might have gotten
maximum swing.
Swing, but on average, we were getting a lot more swing than the Aussies. Now let's take it to the stands.
Awesome. Now we open up to questions from you guys, which I can see a lot happening in the chat. Let's go one by one.
Any questions? Samantha says, have we already lost? No, not really. I mean, we have a long way to go. The Aussies look in a very good position.
That's true. Tomorrow is going to be extremely important. We'll also talk about that. But no, it's too early to say that India is already out of the test match. It's only day one. It's the pink ball. The pitch is going to get worse to bat on.
Correct.
So that's something that'll come into the picture.
Which is also why it's important for the Indian bowlers to take quick wickets. Asher, how do you view the pitch?
Okay, interesting one. I don't think the pitch has any demons. I think the pitch is pretty great. It's been a standard Adelaide pitch for pink ball cricket. Fairly flat deck, obviously, because it's the pink ball. There is some purchase. It comes onto the bat nicely, and we did see that people who were able to apply themselves were able to score runs later on. Any batsman you pick up.
It's a beautiful test match pitch.
100%.
Pradeep asks, and do you think Virat Kohli can change his way of playing the off-stump ball and maybe try a few shots to tackle that ball?
Maybe Virat Kohli just needs to bat in the same way that he did in the Perth second innings.
I think he just needs to give himself time to start leaving the ball a lot more. He can. I don't think he can. He needs to start. It's just that he's not allowing himself to. Ash. I have no idea how to pronounce the name. Considering the fact that first innings average total at Adelaide has been 400 plus in the last 4 years, and the Aussies showing that first day batting advantage is needed, is indeed true. How grave is the situation for India? That is very, very true.
That's a good observation, and you're right. Like, the average first inning score when Australia bats first at Adelaide in pink ball is 504. So India actually won a really good toss. They did the right thing by choosing to bat.
We were on our way to, I mean, not on our way, but we were 60 for 1.
Yeah, we were in a good position as well. That mini collapse before lunch just completely derailed India, because generally the second session is the one that's the best to bat in. And if India had not lost a wicket during that period, India would have capitalized and probably still been batting.
And going back to yesterday's stat, Australia hasn't lost a pink ball test in Adelaide over 7 matches. And out of those 7 matches, there have been only 3 occasions where Australia trailing while the opposition is coming into bat in the third innings. And even in these 3 occasions, Australia have come out on top. So, batting first and scoring big was very, very important.
Yeah.
Srikanth, why did Indian bowlers not utilize the bounce of the pitch where Aussies got the 3 wickets, I think?
Why did Indian bowlers not utilize the bounce of the pitch? Ooh, interesting. Okay, so here's the thing, right? There was this stat about how there was about 13 centimeters of extra bounce compared to Adelaide 2020 test.
Oh, right.
But if we look at it from purely like a numbers point of view and the kind of bounce there was nothing untoward. There was obviously with the pink ball, what happens is because the seam is more pronounced, the ball just tends to come off a little quicker off the pitch. But I don't think there were any demons as such. Coming to utilization of bounce, it holds true because of the way Kohli, Rahul and Pant got out.
That's true. They were bowling a couple of good bounces, the Australian bowling
They
attack.
mixed it up nicely. That's
I think it's because of the amount of swing we were getting. We didn't think of plan C.
Plan C, yeah.
Shakti asked, what is the reason behind collapse of India batting? Is it not having patience or playing loose shots? A bit of both.
Both, yeah.
Gill had the patience, played good shots and then played a loose shot.
Yeah.
Just a very bad shot. Aditya asked, do you think Rohit should quit tests after this series? It's way too early.
Whoa.
I mean, it's his first innings in Australia, which is a pink ball test match, and he walks into bat at 70 for 4.
Yeah.
So it's way too early. Hari Krishnan asked, was it difficult for India to attack Boland? Was it difficult to attack India? Was it difficult for India to attack Boland? Because the commentators were saying if Boland is attacked, he would give more runs. Which is interesting because I don't know if I read that. A lot of commentators were talking about how Boland's inclusion is a blessing in disguise. I want to say blessing.
In what sense though?
In the sense that a lot of Australian bowlers, Australian commentators, but also Michael Vaughan, who's I know English, but they were talking about how Boland, a lot of balls that would normally go higher than the stumps if Hazelwood bowled, would hit the stumps if Boland was bowling.
Right.
And in this way, because Boland was able to attack both sides of the bat, he became a little more lethal. So I don't know about more runs, to be honest. Boland is a fantastic fast bowler. But, yes.
What is Zenith saying?
Zenith Rao. After first hour, Australia bowlers bowled very full and Indian bowlers very wide off the radar, too much straight. With the seam and swing degree, India are very great, but discipline is bad, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's the point, right? Like even in the first hour, that's actually a good point you've raised, that in the first hour, the Australians also were not hitting the stumps at all. In the first 10 overs, the Australians hit the stump a grand total of 3 times, out of which the first 2 times were the first 2 deliveries. The first delivery was the wicket of Jaiswal. And that's...
And the third was when KL Rahul got off the mark.
Oh, yeah. So that's the thing, right? Every time they attacked the stumps, they looked a lot more threatening. And that's why it was easier for India also in that first hour to get in and get those runs, because there were a lot of easy leaves on offer for the Indian batters.
And talking about the Indian bowlers, we generally try to attack stump to stump. There's an interesting stat I think it was said by Adam Gilchrist in the commentary, where the Indian bowlers have aimed more at the stumps than the Australian fast bowlers from the last BGT. So in the last BGT, when we won in Australia, we aimed at the stumps a lot more than the Australians, which is what we generally do anyways because of the kind of pitches we play in India. But the second the ball starts swinging more than we are used to is when we lose our line and length. And I think that is where the Indian bowlers need to step up. Even someone like a Jasprit Bumrah, who took his time to settle into the spell. The Giant asks, do you think Rohit can play better at number 6 position since Rahul looks good at the opening now?
Very interesting. We have a video that's going to come out tomorrow addressing some of this. But Rohit at number 6, he's got good stats there. In fact, he has
Average of
really
50.
good stats there. Having said that, Rohit's been opening for all this while. He's come into this test match expecting to open, but because of the circumstances, Rahul is at the top right now. So it'll be interesting to see if Rohit can have the same kind of impact. Also because he's not been in the best of forms.
Correct.
Who knows, this might actually be a blessing in disguise.
Yep.
If India gets some runs on the board with the top order and Rohit comes into a similar
then he can
situation
just-
like how Virat
Yeah.
did in that Perth test, then he could actually get runs and get some
Yeah.
confidence going. So yeah.
We'll take a couple more before we stop this for the day. Aditya asked, do you think we played with the correct team today? Which is very, very interesting. Do you think we played with the correct team today?
I'm happy with the selection of Ravichandran Ashwin.
Which was a big surprise.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were
Yeah.
expecting that, but kudos to the Indian team
Yeah.
management for doing that,
With
because
the fact that he wasn't even a feature in the pink
Yeah.
ball practice game.
yeah, so that's definitely
Yeah.
something they got spot on. Only time will tell, of course.
True.
Tomorrow, day after is going to be very crucial for how the spinners go.
Yes.
Ashwin, that is. So that selection spot on. And
Yeah. Yeah, I think apart from that, I don't think they could have done anything differently. Fake name cry, World Cup kiddies. Do you think Virat century was a one-off thing? Oh yeah, you asked this question a little earlier. I do not think it was a one-off thing. I just think the pitch became better to bat on.
Yeah.
And Virat's the kind of batsman who would capitalize on a wicket that gets better to bat on. It'll be interesting to see if Virat's able to score runs on a difficult wicket, especially when batters around him aren't able to stay.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a very important inning. So that even if he scores a half century when the team is 80 for 5, for example, and if he's there scoring a 50, that's more important for me than the second innings at Perth.
Fair, yeah.
Srikanth, okay, last two questions and then we will go to Wonder Down Under what India needs to do tomorrow and then stop it right there. Srikanth asks, okay, serious question, why is Harshit Rana picked over someone like Akashdeep, who's a proven bowler?
Cool. This is a very interesting one. We spoke about this yesterday
Yeah.
also. We also had the thoughts of whether Akashdeep should be picked for this match. Simply because it's pink ball, he can swing the ball, he can seam the ball.
Yes.
Harshit, I think what he's got going for him, obviously his debut was pretty good. He seemed to ball pretty well in that pink ball warm-up match also. That's something that's going for him. I'm not saying Akashdeep balled badly.
True.
But it's just about why would you want to change a winning combination unless absolutely necessary, right? I think that's something that's been pretty clear with this Gambhir management, irrespective of the kind of play that's picked. If they're showing that belief and hunger,
True.
which I think Harshit has shown a fair amount of, why not give him another go? That's
True.
the logic that I can think of. Yeah.
Asher, I saw your comment. He was in an internship and the second he started watching the match, wickets started falling. So he apologized for that.
Who? What? I'm so
Asher,
lost.
he was part of an internship, but the second he started watching the match, the wickets started falling. Right. Pirana asked Siraj sledging your opinions. Let him do it. He's having fun. It's the same way how Yashasvi Jaiswal gave it to Stark, and Stark got him in the first ball. It's just the fun of it. People having fun. Might as well
BGT,
have fun.
yeah.
Yes. Last question, Aditya asked, do you think we played with the correct team today? We answered that. Sorry if we missed that. Arvind asked, India was bowling a lot outside off, which resulted in Aussies leaving the ball. Your thoughts? What should India's line and length be? And this is exactly what we are getting into.
Yeah.
What should India do tomorrow to be better?
Well, so for starters, Wonder Down Under, ball better areas. I think the Indian bowlers today with the new ball were a bit over the place. They weren't making the batsmen play enough. Or Bumrah to Khawaja was a lot of him bowling on Khawaja's pads. That was easy to just flick away. So India will want to make sure that they're tight around the off stump. They attack the stumps.
It'll be easier tomorrow because it's not going to swing as much
That is
during
true.
the day.
Yeah, that is true. And I think, honestly, I think it's going to be runs galore for Australia. What India needs to make sure is that they keep it extremely tight. They don't set defensive fields though. They don't want to leak runs, but they also don't want to stop attacking. That's going to be important. Lastly, spin is going to come into the game. We saw Ashwin get a little bit of spin today. He bowled just 1 over and he got it to turn. With the pronounced seam of that pink ball, spin is definitely going to come into the picture. I'm sure Ashwin has plans for McSweeney, Labuschagne and Smith. He's also got Labuschagne and Smith a few times.
That's true.
So it's going to be extremely important how Ashwin turns up tomorrow. I think that's going to be a key matchup.
Yes.
So yeah.
That has been our life for day 1 of the second test match. What a it's been an okay day of... it's been a fantastic day of test cricket. If you're an Indian team fan, it's been an okay day of Test cricket.
Fair.
But for Test cricket fans, it's been amazing. If I'm not wrong, South Africa, Sri Lanka is still going on. So if you still want to watch some Test cricket, go on and watch that. England and New Zealand are playing. Harry Brook got back-to-back hundreds. He averages more than 100 in New Zealand. So there's a lot of Test cricket going. So Test cricket hasn't stopped, even if the second day of this Test match has stopped. Thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate the support all the time. We will do this every day of the Test match. We'll see you tomorrow.